Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to episode number 976 of NoDQ video. 24 little episodes to go until number 1000. We all have our 15 minutes of fame, and I would like to take a couple of my 15 minutes to remind you guys to check out NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding Slammiversary and the upcoming hashtag WWE Balls pay-per-view. Also, if you haven't already, mark your calendars. Seriously, stop what you're doing, go to your calendar, and mark the date, August 16th, 2017, NoDQ video episode number 1000. Stop what you're doing, mark that on your calendar. I'll wait. Alright, with that being said, let's get down to your questions from twitter.com/AaronRift using the hashtag RoadToNoDQ1000. First one today comes from Smurtaza. Hey Aaron, do you see Undertaker costing Roman Reigns the match with Braun Strowman to set up a match at WWE Summerslam? No, I have not heard anything about Undertaker coming back for a match. I think that rumor really took a life of its own when that picture was posted by WWE of The Undertaker's ring gear. That was done just to hype up WWE 2K18. I really think Undertaker's done. I think he's retired. I do not see him coming back for SummerSlam. If he does come back, I think it's most likely he would come back for WrestleMania. So at this point, I am not expecting to see Undertaker at Great Balls of Fire. I do not see the point in him coming back to get revenge on Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. It would really reek of desperation, I think, by WWE to bring back Undertaker for another match, especially at SummerSlam with the ratings being down and everything. Maybe WWE would do something like that to possibly boost interest in the product, but to me it would be hot-shotting and it would reek of desperation. I think Undertaker should be done now. That was the perfect send-off at WrestleMania, with him leaving his ring gear in the ring, maybe going into the Hall of Fame next year, and that's it. Time to call it a career. And quite frankly, I did not think that Undertaker and Roman Reigns match at WrestleMania was anything special, so I'm not even a fan of really seeing it again, whether it's at SummerSlam or WrestleMania. This one comes from Push to Mina. Hey Aaron, when do you think Carmella will cash in? I think it will depend on when Baron Corbin cashes in Money in the Bank. I do think, and I mentioned this before, that I think one of them should cash in right away. I don't really like the idea of two storylines with the Money in the Bank briefcase holder teasing a cash in. I think it's just a little too much. I think you should stick with one storyline of somebody coming out there acting like they're going to cash it in. I think one of them needs to cash in fairly soon. Now, if Baron Corbin is cashing in at SummerSlam or right after SummerSlam, which is something that I'm thinking is going to happen, then it would make more sense for Carmella to hold on to the briefcase for a longer period of time. One of them cashes in right away, the other waits, maybe cashes it in at WrestleMania or the night after WrestleMania. That seems to be a good time frame. Do one right away and then wait until sometime next year to do the other one. Got this one here from Brandon King. Do you think it's time for a large roster purge with so many wrestlers not getting airtime? Perhaps. I mean, I hate to see anybody lose their job in WWE, but it's definitely a bad situation when you have so few spots available. You have a large roster of people and a lot of people are not getting TV time. Now, these people are getting paid, which is good for them. I do not see WWE releasing a lot of people, and they really haven't in recent years. Every once in a while we'll see a small spring cleaning, as they call it, where WWE will cut a few people, but it doesn't happen nearly as often as it did like a decade ago. WWE has changed their policy. What they do is they let the contracts expire. The guys get paid their downside guarantees, and that's it. The problem with releasing a lot of people in a short period of time is it could potentially benefit a company like TNA/Impact Wrestling. I still refuse to call them Impact Wrestling. People get on my case about it. As far as I'm concerned, they're TNA until they come up with a better name than Impact Wrestling. But TNA, Ring of Honor, even New Japan Pro Wrestling, I think WWE does not want to cut too many people in a short period of time and give the opportunity for another promotion to scoop up all these people. I think WWE would rather just let the contracts expire. Now, if WWE starts having some financial problems, we could see that policy change where they start making more cuts as a result of needing to save some money. But right now, they don't really need to do that, so they're happy just letting the contracts expire. This one comes from Paul Jackson. If Nakamura is not yet WWE Champion by January, could he be a favorite to win the Royal Rumble? I would hope so. I would love to see somebody new win the Royal Rumble. I'm tired of all the established stars winning the Rumble every year. We saw John Cena win it several times recently. Randy Orton winning it again this year. I'd like to see a new person win the Royal Rumble. Somebody who's a rising star. And Shinsuke Nakamura from the Rising Sun. See what I did there? I'd love to see Nakamura win the Rumble and face AJ Styles for the WWE title at WrestleMania. This is something I pitched a couple months back. I think WWE should do John Cena versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title as one main event, the Vince McMahon main event, to make him happy and the casual fans happy, and then do Nakamura versus AJ Styles for the WWE title as the match that draws in the hardcore fans. Everybody wins, right? And then you can do Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman or Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe again as the third main event. That's what I would do for WrestleMania. So yeah, I think Nakamura should win the Royal Rumble if he's in it. If not Nakamura, then AJ Styles. I think one of them should be the Royal Rumble winner this year to set up the WWE title match at WrestleMania. This one comes from Ben Tooth. Hey Aaron, what do you think about Seth Rollins challenging Jinder Mahal at a SmackDown Live event and Baron Corbin versus Brock Lesnar? I've seen a lot of people complaining about this, that it's already watering down the brand extension. I think when it's at a live event, it's not as big of a deal. If they did it on television, then I would have more of a problem with it. I think it was a little bit of an issue last year when Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar were going on both shows, but WWE was trying to build up the Summerslam match. I get it. I'm not sure why WWE brought in Seth Rollins. I know there was some sort of issue with Nakamura. The speculation is that he had trouble getting into Canada, but why not use a SmackDown star? I guess they were short on talent, so they went with Seth Rollins and brought him in for a one-time appearance. And with Brock Lesnar, I think it's just to boost ticket sales, you know? WWE wants to make the most out of Brock Lesnar, and they're trying to use him at live events to boost attendance, and they're paying him a lot of money. He's the highest paid guy in WWE, so whatever, you know, if they want to have him appear at SmackDown house shows to boost attendance, they're paying him the big bucks. They got to do what they got to do. Now, if you have Lesnar start appearing on both shows, or Seth Rollins appearing on SmackDown randomly, then I would say that that's more of an issue. This one comes from Jay Styles. Why is SmackDown Live pushing non-stars like Jinder Mahal, Carmella, Fashion Police, and Raw is pushing people like Joe, Braun Strowman, Alexa, and so forth? They're trying to make new stars, and ultimately that's what you need to do. You need to build new talent and push new people. And that's what WWE is doing with Carmella and Jinder Mahal. We know why WWE is pushing Jinder. They're trying to expand the audience in India and make new fans in that country. I get it. Fashion police. I mean, I think what happened was you had Fandango, whatever, and Tyler Breeze doing those skits, and it caught on. The fans started to react to it, so those guys got a push as a result. Unfortunately, you have other teams like American Alpha getting lost in the shuffle. But the general reason is that WWE is trying to make new stars and build new talent, and that's the same thing on Raw with Samoa Joe and Braun Strowman. It just so happens that the guys being pushed on Raw have more credibility than the guys being pushed on SmackDown, yet everyone thinks SmackDown is a better show. SmackDown continues to beat Raw on the NoDQ.com polls, and honestly, I think Raw's been a better show the last couple weeks, even though it's 3 hours. I still think that's the #1 reason why people like SmackDown better. Not so much that the quality of the show is better or SmackDown has better talent, just the fact that a 2-hour show moves a lot quicker than the 3-hour Raw, which a lot of times can tend to drag on. This one comes from Jason. Could the Usos survive in WWE if they were to split up, or would they be lost in the shuffle? I like what the Usos are doing. I think that they've been very entertaining as tag team champions. However, I do not see how one Uso stands out compared to the other Uso. I think they work best as a tag team. I think breaking them up would be a mistake unless each Uso can really come into his own and develop his own persona and make himself stand out from the other Uso. Is that possible? Who knows? They haven't really been put to the test as singles competitors, so we don't know if they would develop their own unique personalities. But both of them are so similar in their look and their attitude that I think they're best off as a team. There are some guys that work best being part of a tag team. Usos are those guys, in my opinion, based on what I have seen. Same thing with Kalisto and Sin Cara. I think splitting them was a mistake. And yeah, I think there would be a good chance those guys would get lost in the shuffle if they were broken up. Got this one here from Isaac. With Big Cass turning heel, is this what WWE is doing to give Cass a monster push? He has it to become a major star. Absolutely. WWE has been wanting to get Big Cass on his own, split up the tag team, and yeah, turning Cass heel makes sense to split up the tag team. Being the monster bully taking out the smaller guy, that's the logical way to go. Now, I think eventually Big Cass will be a babyface again. I could see him getting the Roman Reigns push in the next year or two, especially if his promos continue to be solid. You know, I've talked about before how I think the one major thing Cass has lacked is being strong on the mic. Enzo's really been carrying the team when it comes to the charisma and the promos, but Cass has really come into his own since this heel turn. The last couple weeks, Cass has been delivering on the mic, and we'll see. He might grow into a great promo. It happened with The Rock. The Rock really developed his character, and we saw a whole new side of The Rock that we did not see with Rocky Maivia, and we might see the same thing with Big Cass as a heel. We might see him really develop his character and turn into this great personality. And that's what I'm hoping for. I think we're all hoping for that Big Cass will become a major superstar and will help boost WWE and make it a more interesting and compelling product. This one comes from Chase Holland. Hey Aaron, what is your favorite year in each WWE era from the golden era to the current era? Well, looking back at the golden era, aka the Hulk Hogan era, I'd have to say 1991 was my favorite year. I thought that there were a lot of really entertaining storylines. You had Ric Flair coming in as the real world's champion. You had Jake Roberts going heel and feuding with Randy Savage. I love that angle with the snake, with Randy Savage and his arm getting bit by the snake, and Jake Roberts slapping Elizabeth at Tuesday in Texas. The rise of The Undertaker beating Hulk Hogan at Survivor Series. That was great. And that angle with Ric Flair and Roddy Piper where Vince accidentally got hit with the steel chair. Not a steel chair, I think it was a wooden chair. But that was a great angle. They had a lot of really compelling storylines in 1991. And of course, WrestleMania, the retirement match, Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, the big feel-good moment with Elizabeth, SummerSlam 91, the rise of Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect. I really enjoyed that SummerSlam 91 pay-per-view. You had the Big Boss Man Mountie match with the Mountie going to jail and having his problems there. That was funny. LOD winning the tag team titles. A lot of memorable stuff happened in 1991 WWF, and that was actually the last year before business collapsed for WWE. So 91 was kind of a turning point. That was really the last year where Hogan was on top and WWE started to shift direction in 1992. So I really like 91 for that period. Moving on to the late 90s Attitude Era, 1998. I would say 98 was the best year in wrestling history. Because of the feud between WWE and WCW, Monday Night Wars. Wrestling's popularity was at its absolute peak in 1998. The shows were creatively at their peaks. It was just a great time to be a wrestling fan in 1998. Ruthless Aggression Era. I would probably say 2003 because that was really when SmackDown was red hot. You had Paul Heyman writing the shows, being part of the creative team. Lots of great stuff with Kurt Angle, World's Greatest Tag Team, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero. And even Raw, you had some interesting storylines with the rise of Evolution, and you had Goldberg there. 2003 was an interesting year. Steve Austin's last year, of course. WrestleMania 19, my personal favorite WrestleMania. And then this recent era, you know, the past 10 years or so. Some people call it the PG era. Some people call it the PC era, the politically correct era. I like to call it that. Or you can call it the era of CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, or the indie guys. 2011 would be my favorite year. Obvious reason, the CM Punk pipe bomb, which really got a lot of people talking. It boosted my site's traffic like crazy. Like I've said before, it crashed NoDQ.com twice. First was when Punk did the pipe bomb, and then the second time was the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I had record traffic for that period, those couple of weeks. So it was great for my business, and it was a great time to be a fan. It got people excited to watch wrestling again and to tune into Raw to see what was going to happen. And of course, you had The Rock coming back. And a lot of fun stuff in 2011, and WWE maybe starting to push the envelope a little bit more, and they had some compelling storylines in 2011. This one comes from Jamie Clark. As good as Neville has been as a heel, has his title reign overstayed its welcome? I think Austin Aries should have won the title. I said this months ago. I said Austin Aries should have won at WrestleMania. He lost. I said he should have won the rematch at Payback. He lost. I said he should have won at Extreme Rules. He lost. It is what it is. WWE decided to not go with Austin Aries as the champion. I think Neville had a good run. I still think he's having a good run, but I do think it's time to change the title and put it on somebody else. The problem is, without Austin Aries, you really don't have anybody. Not really a fan of Tozawa winning it. Not really a fan of Jack Gallagher winning it, or TJP. Somebody a few weeks ago mentioned Ibushi maybe coming in and winning the title. I mean, that's the only thing I could see happening, is maybe a new guy comes in and you elevate that guy by having him be the one to finally end Neville's reign of terror. Other than that, I don't see Neville winning, or losing the title, excuse me, anytime soon. Even though I think it's time. I think somebody should come in and beat him for the title. That'll wrap it up for this edition of No DQ Video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Again, check out episode number 975 if you haven't already. Please spread the word, tell a friend, go on Facebook, Twitter, share a link to this video on your wall, on your Twitter feed, go on Reddit, tell people on Reddit, hey, NoDQ video is awesome, you guys got to check this out. This guy makes some valid points, he has good discussion about wrestling, whatever you can do to sell people on NoDQ video, please spread the word. That is the best way you guys can show your support. Word of mouth is really important in getting more viewership and getting more people watching. So that's how you can really help me out. Spread the word about NoDQ video. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com. We got Slammiversary this weekend. We got hashtag WWE Balls coming up. And on that note, I will see you guys next time.